Welcome to the Pledge Training Podcast. I'm back here again with Deno from Exemplar. We are drinking Muddy Waters coffee.
And tea.
And tea.
I'm a tea guy.
And tea. This is espresso, like dark, intense. We're talking about an intense topic, so I thought it was fitting. So we're actually going to be covering childhood obesity. And Deno here not only has children, but has also done quite a bit of research on the current statistics for childhood obesity right now in the United States. So what does the CDC have to say about that?
Well, so I got to say first, it's really important that we get a good handle on this because, when it comes down to it, as parents, our job, of course, is to make the world a little better for our children.
Right.
And do that the best you can. Well, we really gotta. I know as a fitness professional, my job really is to help people get healthy and really build a culture,
Right.
to the best of my ability. With the help of so many other professionals in the healthcare industry. Well, I have children.
Yeah.
I have children. It's really, really important to me to make sure that they grow up with healthy practices, to make sure that they have an idea of what they need to do to maintain proper health, for longevity of their lives. And it's just something that I've found is really missing in our culture.
Agree.
Right? It is definitely a cultural thing. Everybody has all these, we are this way, and they have all these, it's our genetics, is our,
Right.
this is, just what we do. And it's become so accepting, among the masses, it's really hard to battle it, and really make a good future for our children. So, that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this.
Right.
So when you talk about childhood obesity, so I looked it up in, according to the CDC, so 24% of our population is children, right? So of that 24%, so let's look at some stats here. You have 3 years old to 6 years old, right? So they are right now sitting at roughly 17.5% of all children are obese from the ages of 3 to 6, right?
That's horrifying.
It's alarming, right?
Yeah.
So now you look at 7 to 12 is 19.2%. And then you look at...
So it's increasing.
Yeah, it's increasing. And then you look at, it's staying pretty steady from 13 to 19, but it's still 19.1%.
So about a fifth of the population is already obese.
It's already obese. We're not talking about overweight. We're talking about obese.
And that can't be just the kids' fault. Like, I feel like very few kids are in control of their diet, or really like they're probably most influenced by modeling of their parents, the school,
Right.
the other peers.
Right. Our kids are looking at everything we do, and they're going to do what we do as parents. I have kids who have friends. They see what they're allowed to do. But still, I should be their biggest influence. When they come home, it really should be about we do these things because they're right. Regardless what is popular and what your friends are doing.
Right.
These are right behaviors to develop.
Yeah.
And that's just it. We kind of talk about how these children become obese, and a lot of people who just don't realize, maybe they're just not educated in in nutrition and movement, but this runs in my family. You hear that all the time. This runs in my family. Well, there's a couple things that run in your family. It's genetics.
Yep.
It has a lot to do with it. I'm lucky. My parents were athletes. I'm fortunate. But along with that, behaviors.
Right.
So my parents didn't know what we know today, through research and development. They weren't educated on the things that we've become educated on as far as fitness and nutrition.
It's also probably easier to be active, and your parents say, I know it wasn't my parents, like it was safe to play outside.
Yes.
And all that, so you can sort of like buffer some of your, maybe poor eating choices with physical activity.
Right.
And sort of balance the equation there.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder nowadays.
It's a lot harder nowadays. Where we live, I mean, it's a safe area, but still, I'm a parent. I don't trust everybody outside of my doors. It's the world we live in. It's unfortunate. Now, don't get me wrong. There's places that my kids can go and play, but it's not like when I was a kid. And when I was a child, the entire neighborhood was your parent.
Yeah.
You do something wrong.
Everybody.
So my parents had no problems with me going out at 6, 7, 8 years old for hours. Be in before the streetlights come on.
That's how I was too.
Yeah, and they didn't worry about it because we took care of each other and we took care of each other's children. Nowadays, a lot of neighbors don't even know each other.
Yeah.
Right. So sending your kids out to go and do something physical isn't so simple for everyone.
No.
But you still have other activities, right? So my children are involved in sports.
Yeah.
I will go out and play with my kids. My parents, my in-laws will go bike riding with the kids. We keep them busy.
Cool.
Yeah, we keep them busy. But it comes down to what we do, to give them,
Right.
these behaviors.
And I'm sure that it is a challenge for adults, like with 2 working parents, which is really common,
Right.
In families, to have a long day at work. They've been go all day, and to come back home and to have the energy, and the mental brain space to go outside and play with your kids rather than
Right.
just veg, or have me time or whatever. Like, I feel like that's a challenging thing to be able to do as a parent.
It is, and I think that's why you got to get your kids involved early. In after school sports, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, my children have been playing sports since they were 5, all of them. We find something that they like, and because my wife and I, we do both work. Sometimes we
Right.
work late, but we make time to get them to these activities. Or I'm lucky enough to have my parents, my
Yeah.
in-laws around.
To be able to take them.
Yeah, but we make sure that they're able to stay active, and if they weren't, then we'd have to make some adjustments in our daily schedule and
Right.
make sure that they can pick up some of these good behaviors.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. I just wanted to go over some of the adult stats real quick, and then we'll hop back in. So I looked up the general American population statistics. So in the U.S., first off, there's been a massive rise in overweight and obesity. No surprises there. Everybody knows that. But the amount is pretty outstanding. So first off, from 1994 to 2014, we went from 7.4 million to 25.8 billion
Wow.
obese,
Wow.
which is insane.
Yeah.
Million to billion, first off, is a big enough leap. So it's obviously grown since 2014 to now. I'm just going to go into percentages. So over 2/3 of the population is overweight. And so I'll break down what that means definition-wise here in a second. 35%, so over a third, is obese.
Right.
So, and that's really the line where it starts causing a lot of healthcare problems, which we have a healthcare financial crisis that we're going through right now. So anyways, okay, so let's break down the stats. So what is BMI? Because that's what we use to measure both childhood and adult obesity. So BMI is simply just a calculation of weight to height. So it works really well for general populations. Doesn't work well for athletes, but okay.
Right.
Generally, like, we are not a highly athletic population right now. So I think it's a perfect overview for this right now.
Right.
So anyways, so first off, underweight is under 18.5, 18.5 to 25. And you guys can type this in. There's a ton of calculators online if you want to see where you fall. 18.5 to 25 is normal, healthy, not at risk. 25 to 30 is overweight, so that's 2/3 of the population, and 30 plus is obese. And then we even had to make more categories over obese because there's a ton of people who are now over 40 BMI. So 30 to 35, class 1 obesity, 35 to 40, class 2 obesity, and 40 plus is severe, aka morbid obesity. So again, the calculation, so it's I believe it's metric. Isn't that kilograms? It's metric. Cool. So it's your weight in kilograms. So that's your weight in pounds divided by 2.204 divided by your height in meters squared. So I'm like 1 point something meters squared. So again, but you guys can just put in your, American metrics, pounds, and weight in feet and inches, and it'll spit it out for you if you want to do that online. So, but anyways, I just wanted us to understand that. So as far as childhood obesity, so the actual definition of that, they have the growth charts when you go see your pediatrician. So if you are over the 95th percentile for your age and gender, then you are categorized as obese as a child.
Right.
If you're 85 to 95% age and gender, taken into account, overweight. So there's, all these numbers, and then there's this huge skewing of people who are standard deviations, like these children,
Right.
away. And that can't just be genetics.
It's not. It's just. I would say it's the perfect storm of, genetics, behaviors, habits.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lack of education, really.
Yeah.
Just there's so many people who don't. My parents did not know
Right.
what was really good for me. They, oh, it's a chicken nugget. It's chicken.
Yeah. Chicken's good for you.
They're just, they weren't really educated,
Yeah.
about that. But the information's out there today. We really don't have many valid excuses. The reality is we have to really value our children's health.
Right.
Make that a priority.
Right.
If you don't have health, you don't have anything. And there's just so many issues that kids are having to deal with at such a young age when you shouldn't have to worry about
Weight.
diabetes when you're in middle school.
Yeah, it used to be called adult onset diabetes, type 2. They don't call it that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They have to call it type 2 because children are getting it now.
Yes.
But there was childhood diabetes, which was type 1, and it was, genetic, like your pancreas cells aren't making insulin. And then there was type 2,
Right.
which is largely diet-induced or, inactivity, or that combo onset. And so they called it adult, and they can't call it adult anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like that is just a perfect example to drive it home.
it is. And, you have, just so many kids out there. Like I said, they have enough to worry about, just getting to adulthood. Us as parents have to do a much better job of preparing them to
Right.
fight for life, to
or
fight
even
for good quality.
empower them early. Like I know you do this because we've talked about it, that you tell your children what the food is doing to their health, and you let them make the decision sometimes.
Right.
This
Right.
is the sometimes you can have it food.
Yes, yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's
Yeah.
not an easy thing. My children are just like any other, child. They don't just walk around, health food. They want
Right.
they want stuff that tastes good to them.
Pizza.
Yeah, they want it. We know as parents you can't have it every day.
Right.
You're allowed to be a child. You can
Right.
you can have some pizza. But you got to find that balance. You have to find that balance. We don't want them to be unhappy. Because they
Right.
how they eat, they're just, oh gosh, it's horrible. It's so earthy.
It's so earthy.
But at the same time, we kind of get them to understand, especially being that they're athletes, you're fueling your body.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, you can use energy in any manner, that you ingest, but do you want proper fuel? It's the difference between unleaded regular and premium.
Right.
How do you want to fuel your body? Trying to get them to really think about that and understand it. And don't get me wrong, I don't expect my 9-year-old, to start kicking all these, facts about diet and,
Right.
caloric intake. I don't expect that. But here, eat this. It's good for you. You'll enjoy it. You're gonna feel great.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And like I
Cool.
said, they just kind of develop those habits, right? But I control that. I
Right.
have control of that. And as a parent, we have to take control of that. And we don't leave it up to, oh, my child is picky. And let me tell you, I have a picky child. I have a picky child.
Yeah.
My 13-year-old. But still, you can't just have whatever you want, because you're picky. You're going to have to get over that. Because
Yeah.
one of these days, you're going to have to leave the home. And how are you going to eat now? You can't just have Chick-fil-A every
Right.
day. You can't do that.
Yeah, and like I was saying, in my dietetics program, we did talk about, we went into parenting and, talking about exposing children and getting kids to adopt new foods. And it takes multiple exposures.
Yes.
So your kid isn't going to develop a taste for, we'll use kale, even though a lot of adults still hate kale. But anyways,
Yeah.
for kale, the first exposure, or for bitters in general, the first exposure. So you need to be prepared to take, 4 to 20 exposures of a new food. Your kid might not initially like broccoli. Just keep putting some on the plate, and they suggest that you just say, take one bite, and after that, you can choose if you want to eat it or not.
Right.
So one bite, be polite, and then let them choose. But keep putting it on their plate.
Right.
You can finally give up on kale. They don't like kale, but get something green
Right.
on there.
Right. And and after a while, you got to take that one bite to eat that one piece.
Right. Right.
All right, this is all that you're going to have on your plate.
Yeah.
Go from that one bite slowly to that one piece. Oh, one piece, I can handle that. Oh,
Right.
now I've
One
got
is
2
very good.
pieces. Oh, okay. I mean, you have to help them develop tastes, and you got to expose them to as much as you can.
Right.
And there's so many good foods out there for you that are really good for you, and we just have to become more educated in what they are,
Yeah.
and let your kids take part in helping you, not just choose it, but maybe prepare it also. I know
Have them help you.
yeah,
prepare.
as a kid,
Yeah.
look, my mom, if I could help make anything, I love to cook now. Right?
Yeah.
But if I could help make anything, it almost didn't matter what it tasted like.
You're like, oh
I
my gosh,
helped, yeah,
I
I
made
helped
this.
make it.
Try it.
I was excited, excited about it.
Yeah.
And so, that works.
Yeah.
For some kids.
Right.
For others, you just got to keep.
I made an M&M sandwich.
Oh my God.
With
Thanks.
Nutella.
Right, thanks. Oh, so good.
Oh God.
But it really just get them excited.
Yeah.
Getting them excited to go in with some enthusiasm. It really helps them to develop those habits, and they want to keep them for the rest of their life, because one day they're going to have to pass them on to their kids.
Right. Do you control what's in your pantry, fridge?
Yes. Yeah. we
I
do.
feel like, personally, that's the easiest way for me to control what I eat, because I'll tell you what, if there's cookies and cream, ice cream in my freezer, it does
Right.
not survive more than 3 days. Doesn't matter how big it is.
Right.
So I just don't bring it in.
Yeah, so we do that. Well, my wife and I, we do a couple of things here. So
Yeah.
we almost go to a grocery store every day.
Oh wow.
Right. We don't really stock
Right.
things. Right. And as we prepare it as we buy it, because it's fresh.
That's cool.
We have things like cookies in the house. You know
Yeah.
what? But you're limited. Right. I'm not a sweets guy.
That's good.
So with our kids, hey, you're limited. You can have this, but understand you can't make a meal out of this.
Right.
So like I said, we don't just completely take things away from them. As far as ice creams and stuff like that, we'll try and get, a soy,
Yeah.
milk ice cream. We'll try and get something that's a little bit healthier. But we want them to enjoy their childhood too.
Yeah.
But still, we've got to guide that, right? So yeah, we do control what's in our pantry. We control what they can have and when they can have it.
Yeah.
You can't eat that before you go to bed. No, it's not a good time to eat. It's too late.
Yeah.
and that's it. But that's going to prepare them, to carry these habits on into their lives.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did a 23andMe test, and it says that I have the genes for likely to be overweight. So, anyways, genetics.
Right.
You can still just quick tangent. So people say genetics. Epigenetics is way more important. So epigenetics is your lifestyle, your
Yes.
hormonal environment, what you're eating, how you're moving, your stress levels.
Yeah.
And so that tells which genes get written, which get produced, what proteins you make, what enzymes are floating around, what hormones are active. If you lift heavy, you're going to have an increase in testosterone and growth hormone.
Right.
If you eat crap, you're going to have elevated insulin and some insulin insensitivity.
Right.
But anyway, so I just wanted to make a short little point there. So to anyone who's still playing that, genetics card.
Right. And not only that, but it's don't forget, it's never too late to get started.
No,
right?
absolutely not.
And your kids are still watching you. So if you're a parent who's dealing with weight, who is obese, one of the things is not just about the eating, and the behaviors. You're going to be your child's biggest role model.
Right.
So you've got to show them, hey, I'm working to better myself.
Right.
We talked about, finding your why, in the last podcast. Sometimes your why has got to be, I'm going to set that example for my child, right? I'm going to be that role model. I'm going to show them that, hey, you don't have to become this.
Right.
And you can beat the genetic curse. You can beat it. And you can beat it with activity. You can beat it with your habits. Now, if you have genetics and behaviors, that is the kiss of death, right?
Yeah,
so somewhere you can't change your genetics, but you can definitely change your behaviors.
Yeah.
So if the parents are doing it, including how we eat, then the kids are going to be a little bit more likely to follow suit.
Yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely.
you're active. Your child is probably going to take interest in activity. But you also have to understand, just because you're doing it doesn't mean that you can't control your child's activity through saying, hey, they might not want to go jog with you or work out with you, but you know what? You can't play video games all day long either.
Yeah.
And sit in your room and eat whatever.
Right.
You may not do what I do, but you can't do this either.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes you got to kind of force them into something different. But open up the world of activity to them. Find out what they like, and then you be their biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
Right? You be their biggest cheerleader and get them going. And unfortunately, children can be cruel. So you see children in school who have to deal with this, bullying and just belittling and every day.
It's horrible.
And don't get me wrong, just because your child is overweight or obese does not mean they deserve that, and they don't deserve that.
Yeah.
But the reality is other children can be brutal sometimes. Look, understand that you're setting them up for a healthier life.
Right.
You're going to allow them, because unfortunately, and it shouldn't be, but it is the way it is. You talk about social, behaviors. You talk about, just the structure of how these kids operate in and out of school and their social environment. These things will make a difference somewhere down the road. So please, help them. Help them. You want them to feel good about themselves. And part of it is through physical activity.
Yeah.
Eating properly, and then developing their sense of self-worth. That has a lot to do with it.
I completely agree. I think that doesn't just go away too as people get older. One of the most common things that people tell me is when they want to make a big lifestyle change, adults, is I'm intimidated to go to the gym. Like, people stare at me like I feel bad about myself. This is a place for fit people. And I think that the people that need to be at the gym the most are the people that need help, and they need to get healthy.
Right.
And there should be a positive culture. Don't stare at someone who, doesn't know how to work the machine and looks uncomfortable, like, go help them.
Yeah.
Go say good job. Like,
that encouragement.
Yeah. So I just, I think it's unfortunate that there's kind of, that we're not making a hospitable environment where people feel immediately welcome.
Yeah.
That need to be there.
That's I know where we are.
Sports teams, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exemplar's great.
Right. I mean, well, and the thing is
that's why I got a membership.
Well, and the thing is, it's something that we've never had to talk about. I think that everybody, the trainers, the owners, everybody is on board with, look, when people walk in here, it is our job to make them feel better, leaving the doors. Right. Everybody's welcome in here. And the thing is everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
My job, our job, even if it's not what we do for a living, is not for any of us to judge anyone.
I agree.
It's up to us to be there when they need the help. Properly guide them and encourage them. Our job is simple, but it's the same thing with children.
Yeah.
But if you do have those fears, those issues, one, you got to find a place that isn't going to, that you feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
Right. Talk to them. Find out something about them, but don't hesitate to go get that help. Don't hesitate to walk. You don't look. Tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. I'll do this next month, but you might not see tomorrow. Right now is when you do it. Right now is when you start your children on that journey, on that path. Right. Do not wait, because you just never know what can happen. But create that environment for them. Our children, they're going to deal with enough.
Right.
But let them be healthy. Right. Make them healthy.
Yeah.
Right. And that's got to be a priority.
Yeah. And even if you're an adult and your child is struggling with the same problems with overweight or obesity, like, you guys can start together. But anyways, I mean, I've worked with so many people, even like 60 plus, 70 plus, who are overweight on too many medications, and we just start doing the right lifestyle things. And they drop weight just as quick. They put on muscle just as well.
Right.
And so, you're not too old. You're not too far gone.
You're not too young.
You're not too young.
You're not too young.
Right. You're not too young to start making good choices for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And, find a program that's right for you. Find what you like, and get out and be physical. The human body was meant for that. At one time, these are all the tools and entertainment we had. Right. So we used them. That was just a different time. But you had a lot more healthy individuals than you do today. Technology, unfortunately, as much as we love it, sometimes that's kind of our downfall. You got to break away from that and go move. The body was meant to do that. So.
Yeah. Well, I completely agree. Well, cool. Do you have any closing statements?
No, just I'll just say, we kind of go off on a tangent with other things, but the reality is that, look, I love my children, right? Parents out there, you love your kids. You've got to show them the right things because you love them. Because it's a right thing to do by them, right? That's our job. Our job is to help provide a quality of life, for our kids, not to let them find out on their own. Right? Go and love your children. Love them well and teach them the things that they need to do to be healthy and pass that on. Right. Because they're going to have children one day, and they're going to have children one day. You've got to make that a part of our culture. Right? Yeah. So that's it.
I completely agree. Well, cool. Thanks again for coming back on.
Thanks for having me. These are fun. These are a good time. But necessary information. It's not just fun. This is so serious. And it just, look, if you're out there and you're wondering, how to start, then just ask the question. Yeah. Right? If don't be too proud. Don't be afraid, because there are people out there like Sarah who want to help.
Absolutely.
Who will do anything they can to help you. It's not just because it's our job. It's our pleasure, and it's really why we were put here.
I completely agree.
Yeah, those people are out there. Go find them. They're there.
Well, cool. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. He's gonna be back on the show. He's a regular.
All right.